taking you to BB King's in Times Square for the announcement of Hopkins versus Shumenov, a 12-round light heavyweight unification fight that'll take place Saturday, April 19th at the D.C. Armory in Washington, D.C., and it'll be broadcast live on Showtime. IBF light heavyweight world champion Bernard Hopkins faces WBA and IBA world champion Beybout Shumenov in an attempt at 49 years old to become the oldest fighter in boxing history to unify world titles. Hopkins has twice become the oldest man to win a major world championship in the ring. In 2013, Hopkins defeated Tavares Cloud to win the IBF Light Heavyweight World Championship and then successfully defended his title with a win against Karl Marat. His opponent, Beybout Shumenov, a 30-year-old native of Shymkent, Kazakhstan, who fights out of Las Vegas, made his way to the top of the light heavyweight division with lightning-fast speed, winning his IBA title in just his 8th professional fight against Byron Mitchell in 2009. 2 fights later, he added the WBA title by defeating Gabriel Campillo in 2010. Since then, Shumenov, a 2004 Olympian for Kazakhstan, successfully defended his title 5 times. This April, Shumenov gets his opportunity to make a name for himself in the history books if he can defeat Bernard Hopkins. First off, I was reading about in the beginning when you were young, you went through a lot of adversities. You want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, when I was 9 months old, my 2 aunts accidentally gave me bad milk and I was poisoned. And then at that time my parents, they were working for the government. My dad, my mom, she was school teacher and my dad was accountant. And after 2 weeks, my dad came to visit me. And at that time I shrank and my skin color turned to blue color, and then he took me to the hospital and doctor said that unfortunately I didn't have any chance to survive. But somehow the miracle it happened. But almost all my childhood I was sick and weak, and I wanted to grow as a strong man. And I was watching a lot of movies with Bruce Lee, and then how I got inspiration to boxing, watching fights of Mike Tyson. That's how I got the inspiration. And before boxing, I did karate, taekwondo, wrestling, kickboxing, Muay Thai, judo, then boxing. Till these days I practice Greco-Roman wrestling.
So you have a big mixed martial arts background.
Yes, yes. Sometimes I would like to try myself in MMA too.
Oh, that's one of the fastest growing sports there is.
Yeah, I love MMA.
Now Bernard Hopkins, now he's been in the game a long time and he's very crafty. Are you ready for him?
I am ready.
And where have you been training at?
In Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas?
Yeah, I've been living in Las Vegas since 2007. For 7 years I've been living in Las Vegas. I live there, I train there.
And just tell us to end. Tell us about your style.
Style? I don't know. I'm universal fighter. I'm all-around fighter. I can brawl. I can box.
So you're good at adjusting.
I am good.
Okay, but hey, say a shout out to your fans, to all your fans.
I'd like to thank all my boxing fans for their support. Thank you guys, and I will not disappoint you.
My legacy is I have what it is, but I'm not comfortable with it. No, I'm not satisfied with it. I am comfortable with it, but I'm not satisfied with it. Let me tell you, man. I know it's like, again, it's not a frustrating question because I know it's like, Bernard, what can you like? Come on, man. You've been doing this with me for what, 20 years?
Yes.
But that's the unique thing about me, and I know it sounds kind of like a show off saying it myself than others, but that's the thing I'm trying to tell people to understand. That's the unique thing about me that I learned over the years, is that I don't mind pushing the envelope to test me. I'm in competition with myself. How many people can be in competition with themselves and never win, but never do bad and never lose? Because I've done so much, I don't have the time, I think, in my life to completely beat me as far as accomplishments. But I never got bored to the point where I wanted to, yeah, I had bad days, whether it was political, whether it was business or boxing. I had those years and well documented. But I never got discouraged or bored with the training, bored with the competition. I never got discouraged no matter what was going on in my life, where I didn't want to, A, train as hard as I did when I first started boxing as a professional in 1988, and still keep the focus to fight my way out of any adversity that I face. I think that when I accomplished this goal of being an undisputed light heavyweight champion, you always see me do sort of what Ray Robinson did. Bring certain fighters that helped build my legacy, even though they was beaten by me. Come out with my alien robe at a 5-10 minute mission in boxing and do my 4-ring bow and leave. I'm determined to leave out being the undisputed light heavyweight champion in the world. And if I leave out without that, then so be it. But I'm damn sure gonna put my heart and soul and sweat after I leave this press conference and head back to Philadelphia and go back to Jersey and lock it down like I've been doing for the last 3 weeks. I wanna have y'all talking about what I've done leaving out this game. With all the other good stuff happening in boxing, with the big fights, still talking about, man, this guy won a light heavyweight champion, beating the best in the division at his age. That's what I want to leave on the marker. That is so important to me. And you know what? I know that I'm different, and I know that people can't understand different people. But to me, the punishing of the body for the 9 or 8 weeks of training is what people should be saying, like, yo, like, how do you go through this preparation, man, and not, don't you soak? I do all that. And I don't feel like I'm 20, but I don't feel like I'm 49. I feel like I'm 35.
Now my question is like this: 49 years old.
I really do. I really do.
I know you do.
I don't know what the average 49-year-old person feel like. When I'm asked that question, Bernard, you know, when my birthday came up, they said, Bernard, how do you feel being 49? Happy birthday. I said, oh, well, thank you. I don't know. I said, because most of the people I grew up with, they taking 4 or 5 pills, right? Their teeth are missing. I got one gap this one, but they're not in good health. And so for me to be the poster man for what it feels to be 49, you asking the wrong person. Do a 49 look like me? Most of them? No. Do a 49 runs 4 or 5 miles, 3 days a week? Do they spar? Be 90 rounds after my camp is over with 2 different young guys that has careers that's undefeated, not stiffs. Like, I don't know what a 49-year-old guy feel like. And when you start saying that, you got to start saying, wait a minute. We can't pit Bernard Hopkins, right? Because the person that asked me that maybe not in great shape that I am. And I said it up there not to bash anybody, make nobody look bad. Look, that's your lifestyle. I didn't do that to bash anybody up there. I just said, look, let's be realistic. Like, don't look at me and be envied. Just look at me and be inspired. Because only looking at me kind of cross-eyed and get the, and no, I ain't say jealous, I say envy, because it's a little nicer way to say it, because your gut is way out here like that, and you got back problems, and they got you on 5 medications, and your doctor said they're going to have to put a stem in your heart because you look like you're going to have a heart attack, and then you look at me, and you be inspired by me. See, I'm different, I think different, and some are. So look at me and say, look, maybe I can go ahead and save a month or 2 in my life, because you can't make up for a year what you've been abusing yourself for 20 years. Then I'll tell you, you're on wishful thinking. If you abuse yourself for 20 years, you think 5 years is going to help you, numbers don't add up. 20 is always bigger than 5. There's a number game. There's a number games in everything we do. Time is numbers. When you leave here is a number. You got to be somewhere, he has to be somewhere, you have to be somewhere, you got to be home eventually, you got to be home. Time is a number. I look at life as a numbers game. And if numbers don't lie, then why are we trying to change numbers?
Everything that Bernard does is history because of his age. Every mouthpiece, every bottle of water we give him, it's all uncharted water. Because I can't call Freddie and say, hey, your 49-year-old, excuse me, your 49-year-old champion was great fight for the world title and defend the world title. What'd you do? Can't tell me because he hasn't done it and nobody else has done it. So these are the blueprints we're laying down for what you do. Later on, some kid will call me up one night and say, hey man, listen, I got a guy that's 52 years old, great fight for the world title. I'm going to ask you a few questions. I say, okay, son. Shoot, a little bit I can remember. You know what I mean? I might start singing Yankee Doodle Dandy in the middle of the conversation. It depends on where my wits will be by then, you know. But yeah, this is uncharted water, you know what I mean? And we're blessed to have an athlete of this magnitude to walk, to lay down this new groundbreaking. So, you know, we're laying the blueprint. We're writing the map. We're drawing the map out to travel into this uncharted territory right now. And it's going to be, we got to do it very carefully. We can't take anything for granted. Tavares Cloud fight, I saw where Cloud started weakening in mid to late rounds. Years ago, I would have told Bernard, step on the gas, let's get him. I got to do this 111 years old, and we winning these rounds. I got to keep him where he is and just win the rounds. I can't push for that, because if I push him for that and something break on that 50-year-old, we the dumbest looking crew in the history of the sport. Because we should have just stayed with the win, you know what I mean? And these are the things, these are the dilemmas we're faced with when we can see a guy weakening and you normally tell your charge, look, it's time to jump on this guy. You can't start pushing a 50-year-old horse because we're getting close to the finish line. Sometimes you got to let that 50-year-old horse just keep on running the race it's been running. And these are the things we deal with. But, you know, they're not problems that are unsurmountable. You know, we're going to figure a way to get them done, like we have to make adjustments in everything we do in our sport. That's pretty much where we're at.